A World Bank report released this week has found South Africa to be the most unequal country in the world, with 10% of the population owning more than 80% of the wealth, with race playing a determining factor. The prospects of turning this situation around appear bleak, given the findings of the Institute of Risk Management South Africa in a report published early this month. It warns that South Africa risks becoming a failed state if its lack of decisive and ethical leadership persists. Political analyst Ralph Matega says greater efforts must be made, particularly in the face of a number of challenges the country faces.
What have they actually experienced? It's been quite disappointing. We have high unemployment, high levels of inequality, gender-based violence, showing exactly that the whole idea of society that is characterized by adhesion to human rights, that's still something we need to strive to. You really need a capable state to ensure that it acts in the interest of the people to make sure that they realize those human rights.
Matega says the service delivery protests, which have become a permanent feature of South African life, are largely as a result of people feeling ignored by their government.
South Africans are becoming more and more aware of what is due to them. It is just that at this point, the system is not yet sufficiently responsive. But awareness, I see that awareness, and I think South Africans are becoming more and more familiar to navigating political life through that prism of rights.
Matega believes that South Africans are now becoming more aware of their rights and are demanding to be heard.
Protest is another language, and people have got the right to do so, of course, peacefully. But usually in South Africa, we've seen the protest being used as a way to almost say, you are not hearing us, we are going to disrupt. Protests have become quite disruptive. We need to get to a point where people begin to believe that the system will respond to them formally around the table instead of throwing stones at each other.
On Monday, parties across the political spectrum, as well as churches and the NGO sector, will host events to mark Human Rights Day. President Cyril Ramaphosa will lead government's official celebrations in the Northwest Province. Yuli Sanjamela for SABC News in Johannesburg.